Coming up on Dude, Don't Just Lick Stuff.
Too thick?
Too thick.
Body too thick? Don't.
Tree trunks.
Not made for adventuring.
Toxic gossip train. That's what he should have done, because that would have been as effective. Elephinfidelity. Is Jake a cold-hearted cheating little slut?
Warlord.
Fall.
It's Fable time!
I've soiled my tunic.
Welcome back to Dude Don't Just Lick Stuff, the Adventure Time rewatch podcast with a flair for food. I'm Savvy and with me is Seth. Say hi, Seth.
Hi, Seth.
Alright. How are you doing today?
You want the real answer?
Yeah, why do you always ask that?
I know, just because it's fun. But no, it's been pretty good today. What did I do? I woke up really early, texted our mom happy birthday.
Yes, it's our mom's birthday as of recording.
But you missed it, guys, so that's on you.
Yeah, you're like a month and a half late, probably.
Probably, whenever this was backlogged. But happy birthday to Mom. She was actually here earlier today.
She was micromanaging us making the dish for today, which actually you guys will be able to get a sneak peek of if you're watching the YouTube video.
Yeah, you probably already saw it, or maybe it's in the middle of the video. We haven't really planned that out yet.
It'll probably be in the middle, I would think.
Kind of like when we're talking about the food and whatever.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
That would make sense.
Yeah.
Like between the ad read and us talking about the food.
Well, the difference in our flair for food today was that we decided to make something together. Because sometimes when the theme of the episode is just so strong and so there's just one obvious thing,
we gotta just do it together and see what comes out.
And we have some plans for future episodes in that regard, but we don't know yet. So stay tuned.
We did kind of mention this at the end of the last episode of like, maybe we'll do something together, maybe we won't, you know? So they're kind of primed already, you know? Yeah.
So this one is, and I mean, I'm sure you know what it is, but we're still not going to say it for the interest of...
No.
If you don't know what this episode is, for whatever reason. But back to your question, my day's fine.
Yeah,
I
good.
did some chores around the house, didn't have to go shopping, which was nice.
Oh, good.
For ingredients and such.
Yes, I already had all the ingredients.
That was great.
Minus one thing, but it was fine because we had the replacement for it.
But yeah, not much other than that. Just been kind of taking her easy.
Good.
Yeah, what about you? How was your day?
My day was good. I had an early day because I was working, you know.
On a Saturday?
On a Saturday, dude? Yeah, no, I was up at 5. And then Mom came by and hung out, and
She sure did.
As we were trying to make some stuff, and she was being very silly. And anyway, so
who warned you that would happen?
I knew it would happen, but I just thought I'd invite her because it's her birthday. I didn't want to be like, hey, Mom, we're going to make our dish without you. You can't be here.
Yeah, didn't she say something like, you could have told me you have people over? And you're like, Seth's not people. That hurt my feelings. Who's an adult I don't trust? Back to you.
So it's not people in the sense of like
what the
in the sense
of being a person.
Well, like when you think of people coming over, you're like, oh god, I got clean. People are coming over.
Clearly, you don't do that.
No.
I walked into this table a mess.
It was a mess.
Sharpies. How many Sharpies do you own?
It was a lot of Sharpies because I'm working on a project. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
But I had to shove a bunch of things in here because actual people came over.
What the fuck?
Our friend who just moved out of state, he came over the other night because he was leaving the next morning. So we had him over for dinner and stuff as kind of a last minute thing. And basically when he got here, I was just like shoving stuff into the guest room, which is where we record. That was Thursday night, and then yesterday was Valentine's Day, and then today, obviously, I was working, and I was working yesterday too. But so I didn't have time to straighten up in here, and so Seth came in, he's like, the table's full of markers, there's like just shit all over the place, so yeah, it was a little chaotic, but we're fine. We're good now.
We're fine. Everything's fine.
We're fine.
The table's mostly clear, aside from my sticky note from, was it 2 episodes ago now?
Yeah, you left it.
Yeah, it's awesome. I love that. It's still there. The one that says my honest prediction. You guys heard it. You probably listen to all these in a row, you little binger.
It'd be really weird if they listened to them separately.
Right, out of order and shit.
Yeah, like out of order. Not separately as in like release date wise, but like...
That'd be nice.
It would be
if you
good.
guys did listen to them when they came out.
Like the second they came out.
Right, preferably.
So let's get into this.
Yeah, what's the episode we got today? It's episode 4.
Season 1, episode 4, Tree Trunks.
Tree Trunks.
Yeah.
Cute little elephant.
Mm-hmm. So it aired on April 12th, 2010. The director was Larry Likeleader. The story was by Meriwether Williams, Tom McKeon, and it was written and storyboarded by Bert Yu and Sean Jimenez.
And
the creators, Pendleton Ward.
Thank you. Credit where credit's due. Our almighty father, our creator.
Creator. So the synopsis is, Tree Trunks joins Finn and Jake on an adventure through the evil forest in search for the legendary crystal gem apple.
Yeah. Oh, that was it?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, I guess that is it. Yeah. I just kind of checked out.
That's the whole deal.
So, to get real into it, if you want to get real into it, we have a lot of details in this episode. I wrote out probably, again, we don't have any fan feedback yet at this point, but...
Conflicts?
Yeah. So, I was going to say, what you guys know and love is basically my segment is all the conflicts. We got a bunch today. I mean, we have, I think, maybe 5 conflicts, and then... No, we have 4 conflicts, but we have 3 sub-conflicts this time.
Oh, dang.
The sub-conflicts are kind of just, I'm going to be honest, they're kind of silly. They're
Of
not
course
really,
they are.
they're not real like parts of, it's like a freeze frame in the episode being like, wait, what did he say kind of thing. But yeah, so we're going to get right into it, you guys. Starting off when these boys are cutting apples with swords and we get a cute little worm screaming.
Yeah.
And it says worm scream on my phone.
Worm scream.
Finn and Jake are cutting up apples with their swords. Tree Trunk's cute little green elephant invites them over to eat apple pie. They're like, come on, boys, get over here. And then Finn's like, I'm gonna get there. I'm gonna eat it all before you can even get there. And
Yeah.
what does Jake say in his best James Earl Jones?
No.
No! When he learns Padme's dead, spoiler alert.
Yes.
She says, you guys better behave yourself and sit down. And so then conflict number 1 comes fast. And you want to guess what it's called? Just curious.
Just curious.
Because you know it comes up immediately after once they're about to be served pie.
Fly time.
You think it's called fly time? Do you think that little of me? Bye-bye, Tree Trunks, fly-riddled pie.
Mine's easier.
Bye-bye, Tree Trunks, fly-riddled pie.
Fly little pie.
I feel like... Oh, I remember how I was supposed to read this in a different style.
Oh.
Bye, Tree Trunks, fly-riddled pie.
That makes a lot more
I was
sense.
like, when I read it, I was like, why was that so much cooler yesterday?
I love when that happens though, when you're like, this is gonna be so
This is
cool.
a banger. And I'm like, and I repeated it, I'm like, this sucks. Bye, Tree Trunks, fly-riddled pie. We're gonna do it again. Bye, Tree Trunks, fly-riddled pie. Perfect. All right. Immediately, as you can guess, a fly landed on her pie. She says, a fly landed on my pie. That's not good. Bye-bye. Tree Trunks apparently cannot deal with anything less than perfection,
Yeah.
unsullied pies. Kind of a first sub-conflict that I didn't actually write down, but I'm going to add it. I'm like, we got to talk about her mental health.
I mean, she's just also maybe a germaphobe.
I think she shows signs of OCD.
She could.
Maybe she's a perfectionist.
I do want to say in the DVD commentary, which had Betty Ward, which is Pendleton Ward's mom,
Mother.
and then Polly Lou Livingston, who voices Tree Trunks. Those were the only 2 on the commentary.
Mm-hmm.
And Betty asked Polly, like, are you also a germaphobe? And she's like, oh my gosh, that's like the one thing about me everyone knows. You know? Except she said it in exactly Tree Trunks' voice.
That's the one thing about me.
Yes.
I can't do it.
because that's just apparently what her voice sounds like. I was not familiar with her work beside Tree Trunks, you know, but that's just how her voice is, and I was really thrown off. I'm like, whoa.
Well, she herself is maybe a perfectionist, but to the dismay of the boys.
Mm-hmm.
And they're very hungry. They're kind of upset that she threw it out, and you know, as she throws it out, she says, the flies wanted it, they can have
it.
But good news. The new pie's like immediately ready.
Yeah.
And they wolf it down, and Jake claims it's like, this is the best pie ever.
Of course.
And she's a humble queen.
Because it's from Tree Trunks.
Yeah. But she's a humble queen, and Finn's basically in his next bar kind of sets her up for the main story and is like, what's your like dream, you know? His dream is catching a shooting star, traveling to space, and fighting space monsters.
Yes, which is very reminiscent. I found this in the trivia, and I'm like, oh yeah, of course. Of that episode that's coming up called The Comet, of where he actually goes to space and does a lot of crazy stuff.
Yeah, but I honestly don't remember that right now at all. Yeah. I'm sure I will once we get there, but...
Remember his dad?
Yes. Okay, so that's what I was thinking. Space, I was like, it's got to be related to the dad.
Yeah.
And then, well, speaking of space, Jake wants to carve his face on the moon, so the moon would look like his face.
Heck yeah, dude.
Yeah. A little selfish, a little...
But honestly, I get it.
Yeah. I don't want to be perceived like that.
I personally would never. But I get when people are... Like, that's a simple... It's not simple, but that's a
simple
actionable... goal of like, I just want my face on the moon.
Right. Maybe on a smaller scale though. Like maybe you can go up there and carve like a little thing that like a little self-portrait on like a tiny chunk. Maybe.
Yeah, that should be a lot easier than making the moon look like your face.
And also, what would it do to the tides? I don't know.
I don't know how much it would change depending on like how deep you have to carve it.
Well, yeah, to show like great details. Like you gotta get deeper than some of the craters because it's like that'll show them unless you use the crater. Anyways.
Right.
Well, this is not a carving the moon podcast. But Tree Trunks, her dream is to pick an apple. Mm-hmm. I was like, dumbass, you do that every day. And she's like, well, not just any apple, it's the crystal jam apple. And do you know where you can find the crystal apple, Savvy?
Where?
The deepest end of the evil dark forest. Dun, dun. Dun, dun. Finn says, she gotta pick that apple.
She gotta pick that apple, dude.
She says, what? I'm a cute little elephant, not cut out for adventuring.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe she's right. We'll find out. Finn and Jake offer to escort her through the forest, help her out. She's like, heck yeah, let's do it. And then the Adventure Time logo, you know, like when they've been doing that, they don't really do that later in the show, but it's been happening kind of every episode where it's like Adventure Time, like across the screen. But then in this one, instead of a sword going through it, we got little tree trunks flying through, giggling. It's really cute.
That was a super cute transition.
Yeah, I like that one. But that brings us to conflict number 2. Do you want to guess this one? Because you're so good at it.
I'm so good at guessing these.
Yeah.
The titles you pick are a little strange.
But they're fun.
They're super fun.
Thank you.
They're just a little strange.
Yeah, but it's fun for
Conflict 2. Not made for adventuring.
This adventure's only big enough for the 2. No, it's not that. No. If evil, why forest shaped?
Fair enough, yeah. That's a good question.
Thank you. So Finn, Jake, and Tree Trunks set off into the evil dark forest, running into monsters and other dangers. That's the subheading of the conflict. Mm-hmm. But we're immediately into sub-conflict, I guess, number 2.
Oh, what happened?
Because apparently now we have 4 sub-conflicts. Because they added one about her OCD. Do you want to guess the title of the sub-conflict?
What?
Not for the faint of heart.
Yeah.
Jake offers to for Tree Trunks to ride on his shoulders higher than Finn can possibly go because you know he's just a boy who can't stretch.
Yes, because Tree Trunks liked being on Finn's shoulders.
Yeah,
right?
she was giddy.
She could see from a high spot.
Yeah, and so she never gets to do that. And then Finn, before Jake grabs her and puts him on his shoulders, he's like, "No, she has a weak heart."
No. No, Jake, she has a weak heart.
First of all, crazy lore to be dropped on us.
She's just like a little old elephant.
And then I'm hearkening back to the OCD and stuff. I'm like, maybe she has high cortisol levels because of her stress and perfectionism. Mm-hmm. Maybe it's genetic. And I'm like, maybe I should do a deep dive on elephant hearts. And I did.
No.
So weirdly enough, they're exactly like proportional to like mammals, like in general, like they're all pretty much like, it's not especially big, it's not smaller than you'd expect. It's like as if we grew up to be size of elephants. That's about their heart.
Okay.
They also have a
big ass heart.
They have a resting heart rate of 30 beats per minute.
Dang.
Versus ours is about 60 to 100, which is quite a range, but theirs is about 30 at all times.
Wow.
When they're chilling. They have extremely high blood pressure because of how...
you have to pump it through the whole body.
Because they have 4 chambers just like we do, and they have to...
Yeah. they really have to squeeze the blood out.
Yeah.
And so the pressure is measured by the blood volume hitting the walls of the arteries.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes. But I have a whole article looking at this, and it's pretty sweet. The heart weighs, do you want to guess how much it weighs in pounds?
60 pounds.
No.
More?
Less. It's 26.5 to 46.3 pounds.
My original guess was going to be 30, and I was like, no, it's more. So I went 60.
Fun fact, you cannot track an elephant heart rate with a stethoscope. It has to be EKGs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so...
Why? Too thick of skin?
Too thick?
Too thick?
Too thick.
Why did you think? Don't.
Tree trunks. Anyways, back to conflict number 2. The ground is squishy.
Super squishy.
Fleshy, squishy. And Jake's like, yeah. He's just throwing his butt on it. He's just loving it. And Tree Trunks wants to try. Finn says, yeah, sure, I'll let you do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Which is kind of funny. There's an eyeball. It's a monster. Finn and Jake go to like fight this monster, take her down. Tree Trunks has a different approach.
Yes.
She's all about, she brings out her stickers.
Yeah.
You know what stickers she has?
Which ones?
The rainbow sticker, a scratch and sniff that smells like a pickle, and a holographic unicorn, but it doesn't have a horn.
Yes.
Just a holographic horse, basically.
Yes.
Fleshball cares not for the stickers, grows an arm,
Yeah.
and goes to grab Tree Trunks, and Finn cuts the arm off, and then it shoots back into the tree. He's all breathing hard, and then Tree Trunks gets distracted by a butterfly, and you can just tell, like, oh
her
no.
little butterfly friend.
Which, maybe turns out better later, but right now it's a nuisance.
Yeah. Right now it's leading her into the forest.
Right.
Yeah.
So there's just a lot going on, and you can already kind of tell she's going to be a problem.
She's not super cut out for adventuring, as we've noticed with the conflict and such, but yeah, no, she just gets distracted super easily.
Yeah. And just, which brings me right
it's very
into,
naive.
Brings me into conflict number 3. It's like, yeah, she's naive, but it kind of gives Finn a dose of reality.
Yeah.
And what I call this one is get your daily dose of reality. This one was, I couldn't come up with a more clever name, but I spelled yor as in Y-E-R, like a pirate.
Yer. Get your daily dose of reality, which is like, don't bring normal people on adventures.
Right. And he's kind of seeing that she's like a liability.
Yeah.
And a danger to herself and the others. And
you take on that risk whenever you bring someone into that sort of situation. Right? Like, you are responsible for them, basically.
Right. You're a gold medalist ice skater, and you bring a guy with a peg leg. Like, what do you think is going to happen?
Well, it's like, I actually recently had heard a story. Someone was talking about their friend who had trained for this hike into the Grand Canyon and stuff. And then someone else wanted to go with them, and they weren't quite as trained, and then they just kind of like left them behind, and it's like,
sick. You
can't do that.
No.
If you're bringing them with you, you could say no, you're not ready for this, but they're like, okay, and brought them with them, and then things got too real, and so they're like, all right, see you later, and it's like, no, you both go back to the car. Right. You can't.
You don't just leave this dude who doesn't know.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's crazy.
That's the stuff where it's like, especially somewhere remote. Like, they were in the Grand Canyon, which is not... And
they're not by their homes.
No, or if you're in the woods or something, it's not something that, like, you just leave people.
And you can't get immediate help.
Yeah, yeah. And the area where they were was, like, a really tough trail, and it was, like, really hot summer, So it's like, not a good idea.
Right. Well, Finn won't do that. He won't abandon her. But, Jake's reassuring Finn, like, it's going to be fine. Like, don't worry about it. And he's like, okay, cool. Yeah, you're right. But then all of a sudden, Tree Trunks is gone. Yeah. Immediately. Immediately it's not fine.
And I'll say, Polly was talking about, like, she likes to kind of embody the characters that she's in.
Was she just walking around while recording?
Well, no, like...
Brought the mic with her?
She's like, I just have to kind of, like, be in it, right? And Betty was asking, oh, well, how did it feel to be in Tree Trunks? She's like, it felt so innocent, like, really darling, and she was kind of protective, but, like, not real bright when she was Tree Trunks, right? Just very naive, very, like, la la la,
Right, exactly. But so now she's gone, clearly into the more dangerous part of the forest. There's a bunch of signs, which become not just signs.
Yeah.
And they go into the forest alone. Finn and Jake have to, like, these anthropomorphic signs, like, follow her and blah.
Yeah,
and then she's just out here trying to have, like, a picnic or something with them. Like, I can't even remember.
And with
exactly.
her little butterfly friend. She has, like, some tea and a sandwich or something. Yeah.
So Finn and Jake kind of come in, swoop in, save the day, trying to fight them off and whatever. But then it comes to the point where there's too many of them. Finn has to, like, curl his body over Tree Trunks, and he's getting assaulted.
Yeah.
And then Jake's like, bro, my boy's getting hurt. So then he turns into a ball over them and expands.
Yeah, to get the guys off of them. Yeah.
So then they roll out and they're chilling. They're good. They're finally good. Finn's pissed.
Yeah, he loses his shit.
She's oblivious to clear signs of danger. He's the one taking all the hits for her.
Yeah.
And he says, TT, or does he say Tree Trunks? I think I wrote TT.
Yeah.
He says, tree Trunks, I'm all jacked up because of you. Look at my jacked up face. Yeah. She's like, are you mad at me?
Yeah. But are you mad at me?
Basically, I think he says no, right? Doesn't he say?
Yeah, he was like, you just don't know any better kind of deal.
Right.
You know, but like you stay close.
Right.
Yeah.
Then there's a new monster approaching. Didn't make this a conflict because I'm like, we're already kind of in the same vein of Dangerous Forest. So
same conflict, yeah.
Yeah, so basically the same conflict. This could have been a sub-conflict. It's not. But the new monster approaches and Finn fights it. He's like telling Jake, keep Tree Trunks over there. He's like, I got you. Don't even worry about it.
Is it the brain beast?
The ruby, whatever, like the gem. It's like the pink fleshy looking guy.
Yeah,
okay,
like
cool.
tentacle-y kind of. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so Finn goes to battle it. And then Tree Trunks says, like, I think Finn's getting jacked up again. Jake says, as Jake would, he's like, yeah, he can handle it. He's 12. Which is very, like, Pokemon logic of him.
It's super Pokemon
He's a grown
logic.
man. But Tree Trunks wants to help now. She's like, let me in, coach. Like, I could seduce this monster with my womanly charm and elephant prowess.
Yes.
Which, sure. Jake says, no, don't do that.
That whole part was cut in lots of places. But like Tree Trunks mentioning seducing the brain beast and Finn talking to her about it were cut.
Was her dance cut out?
No, I don't think so. But the exact thing that was like, but I thought Finn told me that I was a top-notch adventurer. My adventure instincts tell me to seduce that tentacle critter with my womanly charms and elephant prowess. And Jake's like, no way.
No way, dude.
That whole part was cut in Spain and the UK.
Okay, not Australia. Interesting.
Not Australia for that one.
Weird. Well, immediately cut to Tree Trunks dancing toward the monster, face full of makeup.
Of course.
And you're like, well, how did Jake let this slip, you know? Finn's like, Jake, what happened? You're supposed to watch her. And then it pans back to Jake. He's covered in like smooches.
Full of kissy marks.
Oh, says, she got past me, man. Like all giddy. Says,
I couldn't help it.
Yeah, he said some other stuff, but this brings me to Sub-Conflict 3.
Mm-hmm.
I really want you to guess the name of this one. I know it's been a joke. This one for real. I need you to appreciate this one. Just take a whack at it. And
the sexiest adventure alive?
You know what? You're not as far off as you think. It's a little more, I'll just tell you. It's called Elephinfidelity.
Oh. How would I have guessed that?
What do you mean?
What do you mean?
I didn't make it up. The reason I call it that, because let's talk about it. Is Jake a cold-hearted, cheating little slut?
Oh, is that all written there?
Yeah.
That's so funny.
Let's talk about it. Is Jake a cold-hearted little cheating slut? I'm telling Lady Rainicorn.
I mean, I wouldn't want to tell Lady Rainicorn, you know.
I'm telling her because
what I'm saying is I wouldn't want to be the one because like she'll freak the fuck out.
Even if you can't understand Korean, you can sort of understand like body language, right?
Yeah, I mean, you can understand whenever she says Jake's a cold-hearted, cheating little slut.
Yeah, I would think so. And
yeah, I think that translates.
I think that's one
language.
For one. Yeah. All right, so back to the actual story. Sorry, I just took a little. I have to warn you, our other sub-conflict is kind of like that. It's not as bad, but I just really wanted to call out the elephant in the room.
I mean, I don't know if maybe he was trying to make out with Tree Trunks.
I don't know, but he sure liked it. He was all giddy.
There's also a line at the end that we'll talk about where it shows that he does like Tree Trunks' kisses.
Yeah. I know which one you're talking about. Anyways, Jake kind of comes back into action. He grabs like the snake little heads because it's about to kill Tree Trunks.
Yeah,
Then he grabs them all up. He says, "Finn, kill it!" And then he's like, "Well, I can't find its like magic gem weak spot." And then it turns 180 degrees at Jake, I guess. And then there's a giant ruby on the back.
Oh, there it is.
I'm like, you never thought to go behind this monster? Nothing.
Right.
Not once did it cross your mind. I mean, I know it's a kid show. Whatever. He slashes its back and kills it.
Yeah.
Tree Trunks is like, I did it.
I'm the sexiest adventurer in the world.
Finn naturally is pissed.
Yeah, but that line was removed in Australia and the Philippines and in reruns in Spain and reruns in the UK.
Oh, they let it slip on the air date.
Yeah, but on the reruns in Spain and the UK, they're like, we can't have that be in here. Which I find very funny that they let it go on the original, but not...
Yeah, I don't know. Finn's now had enough. He's like, you're not an adventurer. You nearly get yourself killed again.
Again. You didn't listen again.
Do you want to die, Tree Trunks? Turns it up.
Is that what you want?
So when Finn gets mad and crashes out, it's like he has a point. Like he always does, but he goes a little too far.
Like the LSP
he makes
thing.
it personal. Yeah, with LSP, he made it personal. This one he made
Do you want to die?
Yeah. Was that not cut out anywhere?
No,
that was full on. You want to die, Tree Trunks? Is that what you want? Is that what you think adventurers do? Die and make their friends feel terrible because they couldn't save you?
It's like
me and Jake said the same thing at the same time. Whoa, man.
Whoa, man. Like, holy fuck, dude.
And of course, because he went too far, and just like Tree Trunks,
she
cries.
Yeah.
She goes home. Or she wants to go home.
She wanders off.
She says, "Don't follow me."
Yeah.
Tears in her eyes.
I do want to say, because she of course has like mascara falling down her face and stuff. When listening to the commentary, it was very funny listening to Polly and Betty talk, because apparently they've known each other for a long time.
It's cool.
Polly, I guess, met Pendleton Ward when he was like 11 years old. He was like
around Finn's age,
right? And he was like, and she's much older, you know. And what? And she's just this little lady. He was like drawing pictures and like doing stuff on the computer, and she's like, I thought he was cool because I can't draw and I know nothing about computers. You know? In Tree Trunks' voice,
right? Well, in her voice.
In her voice, yes. In her voice. So that was kind of fun. She said that she nearly fainted when he asked her to voice a character, you know, and she's like, I hadn't talked to him in years, and
that's
like,
so sweet.
It was really cute. But she mentioned, I was thinking about the makeup with Tree Trunks, right, with the mascara falling down her face and everything, how her mom, who was an actress, used to dress her up in all kinds of fun stuff, and she had so many costumes, and you know, like little girls,
bits and bobs,
they'd make her like real pretty, like dressing her up like a doll, right? You know,
cute.
And at one point when she was older, she won Miss International Vacant Lot, which was like a random thrown together contest,
cute.
Like when she was older,
right?
Beauty contest thing, not when she was a kid. And her name was Modine Gunch.
Modine this Gunch.
I thought that was so funny. I don't know why I put it in quotes, Modine Gunch.
That's crazy.
I'm just going phonetically because obviously I didn't see anything typed out.
Gunch. So you heard it, you said. So it's phonetic, like you were typing it as you heard it.
Yeah, Modine Gunch.
It wasn't like the other way where you like read it and you're pronouncing it maybe wrong.
No.
That's crazy. Straight from the elephant's mouth.
Straight from the elephant's mouth. So I just thought that was funny because she was all dressed up and like all pretty and stuff, and then, you know, Tree Trunks puts up all this makeup, and I'm like, oh, that makes me feel like someone who
homage,
who like lost a beauty competition with the mascara going down her face. Like, oh no,
felt like an homage to her old parking vacant lot days.
Isn't that really funny?
That is insane.
It was just like a spoof, you know, thing that they're like, let's just do Miss International Vacant Lot. It's so funny.
Well, Finn feels bad immediately.
Of course.
And says you shouldn't yell at cuties who just want to help you, Finn. And, you know, that's true. That's good advice for everybody.
Yeah.
Like, don't yell at cuties when they're just trying to help you.
Yeah.
You're going to push the cuties away. And brings us right into conflict number 4. This one you could probably actually get, but if you don't want to, I understand.
Just go for it.
It's called Easy as Pie, ... or something else entirely.
I know what you're referencing, but that's so bizarre to put them both together.
I just think it's funny.
Yeah.
Easy as Pie part of it. Tree Trunks finds the crystal gem apple immediately. Like where she wanders up. It's in the next area.
Turns a corner and it's like, oh, hey. And our little butterfly friend, right?
That's true. Oh, yeah. I don't remember if he's...
Skeleton butterfly.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We should have clarified, from the beginning. It's a little skull with like butterfly wings. And like
it's a little full skeleton.
Full tiny... But the head's big or body's small.
Like a little fairy type of deal.
Right. It reminds me of, and this is maybe niche, and but you remember in this is so stupid. In Guitar Hero 3, like I think it's called Legends of Rock, and it was, there was like a little like loading screen, and in the corner there was like a skull like with like angel wings.
Yeah, I do remember that.
And it's like that's what it reminds me of a lot. And
and they have like a guitar and
well, that's what I'm saying is like I didn't think about it while I was watching it, nor is it in my notes. It just clicked now.
That's so funny.
Yeah, and I really like that. But immediately we're into conflict number, I guess, 4. And
I think it's 5 now. I think you
the
said
sub
4.
conflict is number 4.
Oh, okay.
But I called this one Finn's YouTuber apology.
Oh, no.
Finn says, and I quote, this is a bad apology to me. I think I wouldn't accept this if I'm Tree Trunks. Mm-hmm. But he says, I'm a huge butt guy for getting mad at you. I'm a huge fart. I was only upset because I love you and I don't want to see you get hurt, which is gaslighting.
Yeah, that's straight up
I just
gaslighting.
care about you so much.
I care about you so much. That's why
He
I won't
might
let
as
you
well-
leave the house.
He might as well brought out the ukulele and said, toxic gossip train. That's what he should have done, because that would have been as effective.
Right.
To me, anyway. Back to the actual conflict. Tree Trunks accepts his apology in exchange for a little kiss on the cheek. Mm-hmm. Finn's like, ooh, I don't know. Which is what Jake should have done. Jake should have been a little more hesitant and resilient. But
what does he say?
he hops right in and says it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
Yeah, this was also cut.
Cheating little slut. Slut dog.
This was cut in the reruns in Spain and the UK.
The kiss on the cheek part, or the once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, or all of that?
So this is what was.
Yeah.
And I'll accept your apology if you let me kiss your cheek. Finn. I don't know. Jake. Whoa. Let her kiss your cheek, man. It's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
So that whole part was cut?
That whole part was cut.
At first I thought you were telling me what was aired, and I was like, that's the whole quote.
Yeah. No, that's all that was cut. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Interesting. So that part just never happens. That's fine. Well,
Which is crazy.
then we reach the something else entirely.
Yes.
It reveals itself. Mm-hmm. Do you remember what it is?
Was this the Crystal Guardians?
Yeah. So as the Crystal Guardian, it's like after he says it's a once in a lifetime opportunity, all of a sudden it parrots back in like some weird distorted playback of the conversation. And I said this word already, but it's another anthropomorphic crystal. And basically Crystal Guardian battle begins. Finn's like, this guy, bad news. And he runs up. He says, stop copying me, like a kid.
Yeah.
He is 12.
Yeah.
Runs over to punch him, only to greet his fist at the same exact time. His crystal fist.
Because it's mirroring him.
It's mirroring him. And it's exactly at the same time as he punches it, he gets punched back by a crystal. It hurts a lot worse than it hurts the crystal.
Yeah.
As it would.
Flesh hurts worse than crystal.
Steel is heavier than feathers. You've seen that, right? The steel's... You don't know steel is heavier than feathers? Steel? But steel is heavier than feathers? I'll show you after.
I'll tell you too. So like the first 2 Crystal Guardian lines were cut because I think it was when they were talking about the kissing thing.
So the Crystal Guardian just shows up?
Yeah. And then stop copying me was cut in Turkey.
Is it like a criminal offense in Turkey?
I don't know. And I'm stupid part that comes up was also
yeah.
cut from Turkey.
Spoiler.
Sorry.
Jake also responds because he's like, oh, my buddy's hurt.
Yeah.
Does the same fucking thing. He's stretching out and then they headbutt each other. Boom, he's out for the count.
That would hurt.
Yeah. They need to find another way.
Yeah.
They got to.
Which way did they choose?
Well, on seeing Tree Trunks being all la 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 la, 'cause she agreed to not be in this fight at all.
Yes.
And promised she wouldn't. She's just having her own thing. Who comes to save her but her butterfly friends? Her butterfly friends are jamming out with her. She's dancing.
She's just chilling, living her best life.
In her Tree Trunks way. And so our boys kind of finally found their strategy. They just looked at Tree Trunks like, that's the key.
That's the key.
That's the key.
We gotta be more like TT.
That's the key. So Tree Trunks is dancing, having a great time, and then you see Jake go, woo, shake it, Tree Trunks, right?
Yeah.
And then you hear Crystal Jake go, woo, shake it, Tree Trunks. Obviously, as the Crystal Guardian sort of imitates that, then it turns into Tree Trunks dancing. And like Finn's like, we could beat its ass right now.
Yeah.
Well,
they try to sneak attack it.
Right. This didn't super work either, because still sprouted some Finn and Jake bod. Smacked him again. We're gonna try this again. We're gonna try this in true Tree Trunks fashion.
Yes.
Not just copying. No, we gotta go
full
in
drag.
full yellow face.
Full drag. Full green elephant face.
Oh yeah. And then Finn's is all fucked up.
It's scary, honestly.
It's like got like flames under the eye kind of thing, and then like stitches all over. He looks not well.
He looks kind of like a zombie.
Yeah, which I don't.
Because it's also like really pale and stuff.
Yeah, I didn't really understand the cosplay idea there.
Yeah,
his was.
They
more...
had to get in the mind of Tree Trunks. Apparently.
But Tree Trunks, or sorry, Jake. See, that's how convincing it was more Tree Trunks than I don't know why they did Finn like that, but Yeah, he gets the makeup. He says, I'll get the makeup. And then they're shown in a full face. They're having a great time. Anyways, and then they raise up to the tree, and Finn asks the Crystal Guardians, and they're like, hey, is it okay if Tree Trunks picks this apple?
Yeah.
And then real Jake is like, I'm okay with it. And like, I'm okay with it. Also, I'm stupid. I'm stupid.
Yeah.
Tree Trunks gets the apple, takes a big old bite, and
explodes.
Poof. Everyone was like,
staring at each other, mouth agape. They're even the Crystal Guardian is.
I wrote that too. So I was like, Finn and Jake are shooketh, their friend exploded. Crystal Guardian mimics their shock.
Yeah, of course they do.
And it ends shortly after with, I mean, we end on like kind of that like note of like, what happened? Like, oh my God, it popped. Then like a second later, it cuts to her transparent.
Running around in the crystal dimension.
I put Dominion, which is weird.
Dominion?
Because I meant dimension. Laughing and smiling. And then at this point, we don't know. And like, as an audience, is she dead? We have no idea. A different dimension, we have no idea.
You want to know what's funny?
Yeah.
Originally, this episode was going to end just with Tree Trunks exploding. And
or there's some notes.
Yeah, the executives at Cartoon Network were like, that's too dark, and wanted Tree Trunks to survive. They were just going to kill off Tree Trunks. It was just going to be a one-off kind of deal.
It makes sense.
And they revised the ending with her walking through the crystal dimension after storyboard was completed. Like, after it was like pretty much done. Despite this, the My Two Favorite People DVD, which was one of the DVD collections, right, did not include the new ending, having used the original pre-broadcast version.
Oh.
So on some DVD somewhere, maybe you at home have it.
Probably not.
Probably not, because I doubt that it's like the most popular one now, you know? It has the original version where she just explodes and dies, which is crazy. Yeah. 4th episode of a kid's show.
Right. What lesson is that teaching, right?
Right.
Don't make friends. They're going to die.
Exactly. So I've got a little bit more trivia.
Okay.
I've got some like Wikipedia trivia, and then I've got some Pendleton Ward lore.
Oh?
So let me do the...
Say that 5 times fast.
Right? Ward lore. As far as the rest of the show, I just have really the last bit, because you also mentioned like with the wall of flesh, the unicorn without a horn thing for the horse.
That was cut out of Greece for being offensive to unicorns.
That'd be really funny. But no, the only thing I have left to mention is that the shaved time was 17.1 seconds in Australia and the Philippines, and 39 seconds in reruns in Spain and the UK.
What's up with them?
I know, because it's usually Australia and the Philippines.
Right. And also the UK and like just mostly Europe in general is like definitely more so like liberated.
Yeah, they're not sexually repressed and stuff. Yeah, like they have naked people on billboards and stuff. Like, what is this about?
I don't know.
I mean, they allowed it to air originally, but it was on reruns that it was an issue, you know? But for some Ward lore.
Oh, yeah.
Because his mom was on the commentary, right? So his mom had lots of stories. They barely talked about the episode at all.
Right.
His mom had lots of stories about Pendleton Ward, saying that he started drawing really young, and he also started dancing really young.
Oh.
And apparently he's a really good swing dancer.
Okay.
Which is very funny.
Right.
But she said that she would have to like hide sticky notes because he would draw on whatever he can get his hands on and use the sticky notes to animate. So like
little flip book type of thing.
Yeah. So like his first animation was like the ball bouncing kind of deal, right? Yeah. But she said that one of his early ones too, like she got paid in cash for some reason, and she like, you know, just took the cash and like stuck it in her bra, right? And then when she got home, she took out her bra and threw it up in the air. And he animated that, which I find so funny.
What a weird thing for his mom to do anyway.
She just got home and she's like, cash, you know? And it was just such a silly thing that, like, why would he pick that to animate, right. You know, of all the things? But maybe because it was, like, the motion, like a good
and then
study.
You could see, like, the bills kind of, like,
floating down.
I'm going to animate that.
I want to say Polly also makes apple pie.
Oh, fun.
Yes, she also really likes to make apple pie. And then the last thing about the Ward lore part, before we get back into Polly.
Doesn't sound like a phrase anymore. Ward lore.
Ward lore. Betty, his mom went back to, also Betty, Princess Betty.
Yes.
Very cute.
I did actually know that part.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
I didn't know that
was like a weird, I remember it might have been on Instagram or something. I saw like some weird, like a slideshow of like This might have been like a year ago. I don't know.
Probably, yeah. But that's just really cute that he added his mom into the
very sweet
show. So Betty went back to art school when he was little, and he would sit, she said, at the bottom of her chair, which I don't understand how that works. But
wait, what? Hold on. Okay.
I think she means
No
like
time for that.
down by her feet is what
it.
I think she means. He would sit there and listen to like college level art lectures while she was going to art school. And she would also like take him to galleries and stuff, and she would have him sit down somewhere and just draw in the style. Like she was talking about the Cubist style, you know? And like after a little while, like people would come up and like look at what he's drawing, and like she said he had such great talent even then and everything. And then whenever she would take him places, he would also draw like caricatures of the people around.
Bummer.
Which is really funny. But also like if I knew some kid
like, fuck off. Like,
right?
I'm
And also,
eating dinner. Like,
well,
my nose isn't that big, jackass.
Well, he was listening to those lectures. He was like 5, 6, 7 years old. Like he was little. And then when he's like out at museums and like art galleries, like drawing people he sees.
We get it. He draws.
It was like he was little,
I know, that's
which
crazy.
is crazy. But if some like little kid was drawing me, I'd be like, no, thank you. Get out of here, dude. And then he went on and created the show.
That makes sense.
But yeah, that's all the Ward lore I have. And honestly, that's the end of my notes too. Now, where was the snail?
Oh, I know it super well because we both found it.
We did. We didn't forget.
Nope, didn't drop the ball and forget and just confess to each other that we didn't find it before the recording. But I do have the answer. Okay, full disclosure, we did drop the ball.
Yeah, no, we totally forgot.
I don't know how I forgot. I know how she did. She had a better reason.
I watched it at 5 o'clock this morning.
I just forgot.
Yeah.
Well, I'll say I watched it last night. And then was falling asleep as I was typing my notes, and then I
dedication.
And then I fell asleep, and then I was like, I'm just gonna stop and watch this in the morning. Just picked up exactly where I left off. So maybe it was the time when I was falling asleep. I don't know.
Maybe.
But anyway, timestamp is 5 minutes and 32 seconds. It's when she's setting up the little picnic blanket, and like the evil signpost guys.
Oh, that is
so
right.
he's on the little.
I
blanket.
remember it though from. Because we used to do that all the time.
Right.
I'd be like, snail.
But yeah.
I have one more thing I just remembered that I want to touch on. So Polly Lou Livingston recently passed away back in 2021 at the age of 91 years.
That's a good life.
It's a good life, yeah. She was born May 6, 1929 and passed away January 24th, 2021. She was obviously known for a role as Tree Trunks, but she was also in, well, the spin-off shows, Adventure Time, Distant Lands,
Sure.
right? Bravest Warriors.
Okay. Another Cartoon Network one, right?
It's another one from Pendleton Ward, I'm pretty sure.
I think so. It's been a while since I've watched that. That was with Catbug, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
then
yeah.
yes, that was Pendleton.
I believe she was, this is going to sound weird, I think she was like Slippy Napkins or something. Yeah. No, it was a weird name of the character.
I think it was Nippy Slapkins, actually.
And then she was in Lego Dimensions, the video game, it says.
Okay.
But it says also listed as Tree Trunks for her in that. So
Huh.
I don't know if that one's accurate on IMDb.
Maybe it is.
But yeah.
I gotta get on this Lego Dimensions.
Right? What's going on there?
How's Tree Trunks involved at all?
Well, because the box art looks like there's Batman and Gandalf. So it's like...
Maybe just every Lego, like, franchise that they ever...
It could be. But yeah, so...
That makes sense. Dimensions, you know, they might have a Cartoon Network one.
They might. They
Yeah.
might. Yeah.
Let us know in the comments.
But she was pretty well accomplished as a voice actress.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, may she rest in peace. She sounded lovely, literally.
Yeah. I mean, we grew up with that voice, and it's so iconic, you know.
Yeah, and I would have never known how to dream of love without her.
Oh my goodness. Wait till we get to that episode.
Oh my
folks.
god, I'm gonna sing the piss out of that.
Well, in honor of Polly, why don't we get to bacon?
What are we baking?
Apple pie.
It's apple pie time.
Apple pie time.
Anyway. All right, you guys, we're going to get to bacon, and that whole time that we're going to be baking, it's actually just going to be one short ad, maybe 2 minutes, maybe a minute and a half. That's how fast we're going to bake this pie for you.
Also, it's super fake. And if...
There's a disclaimer. They know.
Okay. But Also, if you want, you can look at the YouTube video and maybe see some B-roll of us making this pie.
Yeah, if you're not on the YouTube and you're just listening in your Apple Podcast app, or if you're on Spotify, wherever.
On your podcast hosting.
If you're on one of those, get over to the video portion on YouTube.
And give us a subscribe while you're there.
Yeah, we
Like
can,
it.
We can plug ourselves later.
Yeah.
But...
Just saying while you're there. Anyways, bye. We're keeping that.
Well, hey, folks. I want to take a quick break and tell you about something that's been a total game changer for me. Snazzle Stream VPN. If you're like me, you love streaming, shopping online, scrolling endlessly without worrying about sketchy Wi-Fi networks or snooping internet providers. That's where Snazzle Stream comes in. They keep your online life private, fast, and secure with military-grade encryption. Plus, it's super easy to use. Just one tap and boom! Your connection is locked down. Whether you're working from a coffee shop or chilling on public Wi-Fi, Snazzle Stream's got your back. And for you lovely listeners, we've got a deal. Head to snazzlestreamvpn.com and use the promo code DUDON'T30 to get 30% off an annual subscription. That's DUDON'T30 at checkout for instant savings. Keep your internet private. Stay connected with snazzlestreamvpn.com. Now, back to the show.
This ad is for comedic purposes only. Any companies, products, or services mentioned are completely fictional and should not be taken seriously. This ad serves as a wildly self-indulgent attempt to launch a voice acting career. No actual endorsements, partnerships, or corporate conspiracies were harmed in the making of this ad. Many will enter, few will win. Enjoy responsibly.
And we're back. So we didn't wait too long for the pie to cool, so
We are in a bit, unfortunately, a rush.
we gotta get to Mom's birthday dinner. But taste-wise,
Wow. Yeah, that was really good.
it's pretty good. Like, let's
try it again so
yeah.
they can hear us try it.
It's a little runny, is what I meant to say, as far as like we didn't wait for it to cool all the way, because we severely underestimated the time it would take for the pie to cool.
Alrighty, here goes nothing. For you ASMR freaks out there.
Honestly, though, for a gluten-free crust,
Oh, yeah.
solid.
Yeah.
Like,
It's-
it looked a little weird,
Yeah,
as far as like the color of it.
kind of paler.
Yeah, I was a little worried.
I had to broil it real quick.
Just to make sure the crust was like cooked. So the recipe was like, hey, put some tinfoil over it because it'll brown too fast. And I was like, okay. And then it's like, why isn't it browning? You know?
Hasn't browned.
Yeah, so we had to like cook the crust a little bit more. But honestly, it tastes really good.
And I just like that it was, as you'll see, it was a collaborative effort. It was not just one of us. I will not stand for the potential slander that I did nothing.
You did stuff. You just had to be directed.
Yeah, you certainly, stuff was done. You're right.
Sorry, I can't stop eating this. It's really
It
good.
is really good. Which segues us into the important...
The rating.
Yeah, that's the one. I was trying to say important segment, but I couldn't think of the word segment.
Yes, the important segment, which is...
Dude, don't just rate stuff.
But that's our job. So, not our day job.
Not at all.
If only.
Yeah.
What would you say? Here, let me give you the scale again.
Okay.
Because every time you forget.
I know what the top two are.
Yeah. So it goes unacceptable.
Conditions, yes.
Check, please.
Check, please.
Nooch.
Pretty nooch about it, yeah.
Tops Blueby.
Yeah.
And mathematical.
Mathematical.
And every time we say Tops Blueby, you say, you think it's the top.
You would think it is the
But
top.
it's not.
That's the thing about that. People would think it's the top, but that's the beauty of our system. Is it's not. Anyways,
What would you rate this?
do you want my honest answer?
Yeah, dude. Why do you always ask that? I always want your honest answer.
Because I think it's funnier now. Like, I think the first time it was real because I was like negative sleep, but
Yeah.
now I just want to keep throwing that at you. It's really good. I think I've told you this before. I haven't made a pie since I was a kid. Like,
Yeah.
our stepmom helped us, and like we made a pie way back when.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that.
So that's like the only time in recent history. I haven't even
I mostly remember with Granny and stuff, like making pies with her.
I haven't even peeled an apple or anything in 2 years.
That was evident.
Yeah. Well, for that being said, I haven't even eaten pie in a long time either.
That's true. I don't often eat it. Yeah.
And I fucks with apples and all sorts of fruits. So, I mean, again, we someday need to adjust the scale to be a 10-piece scale. A lot of hard work to get the names and stuff.
Yes, yeah.
But I will say, out of 5, I do believe it is a mathematical because, again, collaborative,
Taste-wise,
great taste,
absolutely.
collaborative effort, Presentation maybe could have. It was only docked points because of our circumstances.
Yeah, because of the time and like that's why it's a little runny was because we couldn't let it cool all the way. But yeah, I would say taste wise, absolutely mathematical.
Presentation, nooch.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it's pretty up there. So I think overall we can give it a tops.
That works for me.
That was a high five, by the way, guys.
No, she just slapped me across the face.
Smart.
I said, ooh.
I think we did a pretty good job. I freaking love apple pie, dude.
It's pretty solid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's super solid. Well, all right, guys. Sorry to dine and dash, but we gotta get out of here.
I'm not paying for shit. Play the theme song.
Real quick, we gotta plug our socials. So follow us on Instagram at DDJLS Podcast.
And come to our YouTube page the same way, DDJLS Podcast. And you can do that as the @ or just look up Dude Don't Just Lick Stuff.
Email us at ddjlspodcast@gmail.com.
And for all the folks who like pictures, reminder, listen to Savvy and go to the Instagram.
Watch this one on YouTube and you'll see some B-roll of us making apple pie.
Woo-hoo! And maybe you'll hear some clips of Mom saying inappropriate things.
You might. Depends on how much we want cut.
Depends on how much I edit this video. And for those of you who are still listening, dude, don't just lick stuff.
Play the outro.
Pull the lever, crunk.
Wrong lever! Yeah, so our
bloopers. Finn and Jake and Tree Trunks are...
Every time you do that, I'm all set off to find a new home.
So Finn and Jake. You know what? You're not as far off as you want, not as you should. Fuck. You're not as far as... Is a bit of a bit. It's apple cider bit. No. You're not as far as off. Even if you can't understand Korean, you can understand body language.
You can understand, what was it?
Elephant.
Little slut.
Oh. You can understand little cheating slut energy.
Yeah. Whatever you put.
Oh, Elephinfidelity.
No, about Jake being a cheating little slut.
Is Jake a cold-hearted cheating little slut?
You can understand that in Korean. Is what I was trying to say.
You want to get the... Back to it. I know.
You want to get that clear?
I mean, part of it's my fault for not understanding what you were saying.
I know. I was like, come on.
I was like, what are you saying, dog? I'm like, do you want me? Is Jake a cold-hearted cheating little slut? And we're gonna say goodbye in 3.
Oh, we gotta
2,
plug.
1,
Real quick. We got
0.
No, wait.